It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Bruh. Ain't that right, Lil Pan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Yeah, buddy. Yep. Once again, it is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, and this is the Wait a Minute Sports Show here on YouTube. And it's been a second. It's been, a few days. I haven't come on here since the game. So let me just go ahead and you can wait. But let me go ahead and get it up out of here. Big congrats to my Detroit Lions last week in beating the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday night, opening the season. Your boy actually went to Kansas City to catch the game. So I sat there, watched it live, enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Obviously, the Lions getting the win, but I enjoyed it too because Kansas City Chiefs fans made it fun as well. We went back and forth. We had a lot of fun there, and there was no disrespect. So I had to go ahead and get that out the way. That I was feeling good, right? But this is the Wait a Minute Sports Show. Again, this is your man Jelani J.B. Bodie, and I got here with me none other than Le Pon.
Indeed.
And we're here to talk about sports. So now that I got my little homerism out the way, let me go ahead and get into what we're talking about. We got some football. We got some football talk. And let's start with the Colorado Buffaloes, right? So if you follow me, on social media, I get a little tad bit crazy.
Indeed.
Stop it, Lopan. But this whole thing with Deion Sanders, Coach Prime and stuff, and I was talking about is this Mortal Kombat or is this college football? What are we doing here? So this has gotten crazy when it comes to people saying things about Colorado and people saying things about Deion Sanders, right? So now we got this game with Colorado State that's going down actually today, that's going down, and Coach Jay Norville, right? Coach Jay Norville gets put in the media for making a comment about how Deion addresses the grown-ups. Let's just say that, grown folks, where he made the comment that, hey, when I talk to grown people, I take my glasses off and I take my hat off and I speak to them. My mama raised me that way. Now, why you got to go and say that? What is that going to accomplish?
Indeed.
Exactly, Lopan. What is that going to accomplish? What is that? All that's doing is putting gas on the fire, right? And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why I asked, is this Mortal Kombat? Because this thing has been going on. It first started with people on the outside. Some media, outlets said, before the TCU game. That TCU game happens, Colorado wins. Then you have the thing with Matt Rule. He says something. They take that as disrespect. That gets highlighted. Now, Jay Norville is saying something from Colorado State. Now that's getting highlighted. Now, if they win this game, which most people anticipate that they will, they're going to go into next week going against Oregon. Is Oregon coach going to say something too? It's like, well, Deion beat you. Now, next guy, step up and say something. Deion beat you. Next guy, step up and say something. Like, this is getting crazy, right? And we shouldn't really be talking about this. And to me, it's more about, look, coaches, they talk stuff all the time. Players talk stuff all the time. It's football. So it gets a little bit crazy. So I'm not saying that. But where it is, there's certain things that you just don't touch or you just don't do. And what this kind of implied and what it seemed like is that, Deion, you ain't got no home training. Because when you bring in your mama on stuff and you're talking about, that's how my mama raised me. Now I got to take it as, so you telling me my mama don't know how to raise me? Is that what you're saying?
Indeed.
Yeah. Is that what we're talking about? So now I got to take that personal. And what does that got to do with anything in today's game, right? To me, Jay Norville, this is his second year at Colorado State. Last year, you went 3-9. So you only won 2 more games than what Colorado won last year. You ain't got no room to be talking about anything else but how can we get a W, right? Because you lost your only game so far this season against Washington State. So the message should have been, we are coming in against an undefeated team that is trending in the right direction, and we got an opportunity to show what we're made of against one of the top 25 teams. That's it. That's it. But because all this stuff is happening, you're talking about shades, and this is the crazy part. This is how this is influenced and looks to be going the wrong way. Deion Sanders is out here handing out everybody shades. Me and Lopan, we don't went online to check out how much the shades cost.
Indeed.
Yeah. And now you done highlight it, and you're going to have a bunch of people in the audience. I know they're not going to be paying attention, to it, but you're going to have a bunch of people in the audience with some shades and hats on, right? Because they heard what you said. And more importantly, the team heard what you said. So if this game was going to be, a loss for them, this could turn into a bad loss, because now, let's just be honest, the thought is, if we can run it up on these guys, we're going to run it up. And that's the unneeded pressure that you need to put on your team. Let's just stick to college football. Stay away from the Mortal Kombat stuff is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Stay away, from that. You got a game where you could possibly shock the world. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. Perhaps. Maybe. But everybody's just talking about these shades and everything. And I know, look, I think that's how Deion took it, is that, like, you talking about your mama? That's how your mama raised? So you trying to tell me my mama didn't, my folks didn't raise me right or something? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Well, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. And that I'll be watching, so I know you will too. Also, what we'll be watching is a change in Alabama. Let me make sure I get the name right. But Jalen Milroe for Alabama, reports are that he is being benched in favor of Tyler Buckner, right? Tyler Buckner transferred from Notre Dame, who came down with his OC to Alabama. And this move, look, I'm going to tell you what this, to me, what this move is really about. Obviously, against the game against Texas, Milroe had some struggles, right? Saban doesn't do that. And we know, we've seen it. Saban, he subbed out Jalen Hurts in a national championship game for Tua Tagovailoa. I hope I said that right. So substituting and putting somebody in the game, he ain't got no problem with that. But I think really what this is that they lost that game to Texas. That's an early loss. You can't take another loss. We know what happens when you take a loss. And they lost 2 last year. And you saw where that got them. That didn't get them into the playoffs. And they are trying to get into the playoffs. And I think Nick Saban is looking at this as like, I can't play around anymore with this. And he's going to have Tyler suit up against University of South Florida. This should be a game that they win easily, but this is a tune-up game for Tyler, because for the next, 5-6 games, I want to say 5, 6, or 7 games, this is SEC country, right? This is SEC football that they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing, and one of those teams is going to be LSU, might I add. And you can't even say, well, Alabama, they'll be able to beat all these. That's not guaranteed. Not guaranteed. We just saw them, and we seen them slip up. So with this change, I think Nick is just saying, look, we're gonna see what we got. Now, I do believe there will still be packages in there for Jalen. I don't think he's just going to be subbed out completely for the game. But as far as like starting the game, Tyler's going to start the game, and they're going to want to try and get some consistency while they go into this SEC schedule that's rolling out. So they want to get him, prime and ready and get him some reps against some live action. So University of South Florida is where they're going to get that. So if he plays well there, I think because he could make another change and go back to Jalen, but I think Tyler might be where they roll with for the rest of the year. So it's too early in the season to be making another mistake or not making another mistake. Let me correct that. It's too early in the season to run the risk of taking another L. They can't take another L at all. Just like Clemson, they can't take another L at all this year. They got to win these games. So at this point, you got to do what you got to do. We'll see what happens with that. Now, that's Saturday. Let's talk about some Sunday stuff. Some Sunday stuff that's going on in the NFL, and I think the matchup that everybody we got some good matchups. Baltimore and Cincinnati, that's going to be playing. We got a Monday night game, Cleveland versus Pittsburgh. You got my Detroit Lions taking on Seattle in a game. So we got some games that definitely you want to keep an eye on and check out. But I think the game of the week, the game that everybody wants to keep their eye on, is Kansas City versus Jacksonville. I know I want to see this game. I know I want to see how this plays out. Kansas City, obviously, they're coming off a loss. Pat Mahomes loses his first home opener or season opening game at home. So he's going to be a little perturbed, right? I think the receivers are going to be a little perturbed as well because I will not be some delusional fan or whatever of my Lions. Is that, yes, we benefited from the drops from their wide receivers, right? So those wide receivers are going to be looking at, proving something. But this is a team against Jacksonville. They played in the playoffs, and they only beat them by 7 points. Jacksonville was in that game. So Jacksonville is very confident in their ability, and they're not afraid. I think Jacksonville actually get this game at home. So they went to Kansas City and played them very well. So playing at home, they're going to feel even more comfortable. And you got Calvin Ridley. I told y'all. I tried to tell y'all earlier. Didn't I tell them, Lopan?
Indeed.
I did. I tried to tell them earlier about Calvin Ridley coming back. It was only one game, but I think you can see what's on the cusp, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Travis Etienne, he had a good game. Now it's 1 week. 1 week. Anything could change. But I do think Jacksonville is really looking forward to this game. Actually, I know they are looking forward to this game to show everybody that we let Kansas City, off the hook. Now, Kansas City is going to get back Travis Kelce. That's going to be a tremendous upgrade for them. They get Chris Jones. He's back in the mix. He got his deal done. So that pressure that they're going to need to get to Trevor Lawrence, that's going to be there. So basically everybody is there that needs to be there in this game. Your Christian Kirks, I already mentioned Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. You got the coaches, Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, both of them, got the combination of when they were in Philadelphia. So this is the game. To me, this is the game of the week to keep an eye on. There will be some other games on here, but I need Kansas City to show a run game. Their run game wasn't that great last week. It wasn't that great. A lot of people were expecting stuff from Pacheco. He didn't give them exactly what they were, quietly, wanting to get, from him. We already talked about the wide receivers. Defense, it's too much that we're not going to, get into totally, but that's going to be the game. That's going to be the game. And for those people that say, hey, this is a must win for Kansas City, you want to win. Don't get me wrong. You want to win, but I'm not going to say it's a must win. And the reason I'm not going to say that is because it's been proven last season, Cincinnati went 0-2 and they still got into the playoffs and they still had, a heck of a season. So, and we're talking about Kansas City. They're the champs. They're the champs. If anybody can overcome a 0-2 start, it's Kansas City, but you don't want to start 0-2. You definitely don't want to do that. And that's going to be a conference loss as well. Not a division loss, but a conference loss if you do that. But you don't want to get into that. But if anybody can't overcome it, it can be the Kansas City Chiefs. So watch that game. That's going to be a good game. Now, let's talk about some NBA real quick. NBA came out because the season training camp is about to start pretty soon. And we'll be talking about NBA more and more and more. But the NBA came out with a resting policy or update to their resting policy, right? Or load management, as some people calls it. So I went through it. I looked at it. And look, I'm still on the side of I don't like it. I don't like it. Call me old. Maybe that's what it is. I got a little gray in my beard and everything, and I'm a little old school. That might be so, but I don't like it. I understand why they're doing it, but I don't like it. And here's why I don't like it. Because part of it is that they got all these rules and kind of these levels that you meet. You can't have, two all-stars out at the same time. If they're if they're sitting out, it has to be home games. It's a stipulation to national broadcasted games. It's like all this stuff that is implemented as to why a player can rest. This is what irks me about it as why, because it's plain and simple to me. Maybe I'm just outdated, but I'm just saying. I'm not outdated. That was a joke, Lopan. But I just look at it as, can you play or can't you play? Can you play or can't you play? That's it. Now, as far as, and the one thing that I don't like about this is that, I guess the rules are a little bit stricter when they're on the road versus at home. You get a little bit more leniency and everything. I'm thinking from the fans' perspective, right? I see a game that I really want to go to. It's not like the NBA puts out the schedule week to week. They put out the schedule a way ahead of time. We already know who's playing on Christmas, right? So if there's a home game that I want to go to, and I'm not talking about nationally broadcasted game, but if there's a game that I want to go to and it's in November, I may want to buy my tickets now. Then you tell me that when November comes, because it's a home game, somebody may sit out, and they can sit out just because it's the rules are a little bit less tighter. That's to me, that's a penalty to your home fan base, right? That might be the only game that I could go to. That might be, the only game that I want to go to. And then that person sitting out, are you hurt? Can you play it or you can't? That's just the way I grew up playing basketball, right? Or doing basketball. Can you play or can't you? If you can play, play. If you can't, you can't. Just keep it that simple. Not, we're looking at the numbers, and if we rest here and this other game is coming here, then, you'll be revitalized and rejuvenated, and the endorphins will do all this stuff by game 3. Ain't nobody trying to hear that that's paying ticket prices, right? Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Okay, ain't nobody trying to hear that. That's all I'm just saying. So, to me, it's too much. Can you play or can't you play? If you can't play, you can't play. That's it. You're injured. You're hurt. You can't play. I know, Lopan. I know. Indeed. Yeah. We're a little sensitive to that. But it is what it is, right? They're going to do what they want to do. And I just hope, my hope is that all this stuff pans out and we don't have too much madness or craziness going on with people sitting out for games. So ladies and gentlemen, before I get out, I haven't did this in a while, and I really didn't want to do this, but I need to do it. So I'm going to bring it out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do the Big L Award because sometimes people do loserous things in life. And this one, we definitely got to make notice of. Indeed. Right, Lopan. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we give you the Big L Award.
And you are one pathetic loser.
Loser! Let's go!
We're gonna see the best collection of losers this park's seen for many a year.
You made me feel like a loser! Loser!
La loser.
Le who? The her.
So you already know the Big Loser Award. Who are we giving out the Big L Award to? So just this past Thursday night, Vikings were playing the Eagles, and Eagles win the game. Vikings had their struggles. They had their struggles in the running game, and Alexander Mattison did not have the game that he so desired. And, you're looking at it, and obviously people are going to be like, man, did we, let go of Dalvin and we shouldn't have, there's going to be questions like that. That's fine, to have those questions. What's not fine is what people did after the game. So Alexander put up some posts of what people were saying to him, and they were DMing him this stuff and giving him all type of racist comments, all type of N-word this, telling him he should kill himself and all this. This stuff right here, and this is the part that I hate about social media, because you got people that can go and just hide behind something, send this stuff, and then move on with their life, and they're upset about nothingness, right? This is a game. This is a game that people play. If you don't want to be upset about the outcome, turn off the TV. Don't watch it. Don't look at it. Don't entertain it. Don't do anything with it. Then you don't have to worry about being disappointed. But because you are a loser, you do this stuff, which this brother doesn't deserve and which other athletes don't deserve. And this is the stuff that goes on that athletes don't tell you about, that they have to deal with on a daily basis, because there's some fool out there putting this mess in the air because they're upset about a game, right? And then they want to try and categorize, I'm just being passionate. No, you're not. You're being foolish. You're being a fool. You're being stupid. You're being ignorant. You're being dumb. I could use some other words, but this is a family show. So this mess really needs to stop. I really wish there was something that could be put in place to where there's consequences and repercussions, to this type of stuff. But I just wanted to highlight it to let people know, like, hey, this stuff goes on, and then people, and it's not even just them. Sometimes it happens to their family members, wives, children, and these are grown adults acting like this. So for those people that was out there sending Alexander Madison these dumb stuff, all this dumb stuff, man, you got to take this big L.
See? Another loser.
Indeed as well, Lopan. Losers, man. Losers. That's all I'm going to say. It's a game. It's a game. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all enjoy whatever you got going on today. Be good. Be nice. Don't do stupid stuff like people and send these ridiculous messages and all that stuff. But y'all be good. Y'all be out there, man. And be positive, right? Be positive. And what do I normally say? Oh, I know what I normally say. Two things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Lopan, let's go. Follow the show.